What's happening, guys? Welcome to the Greed Feed. Now today I just want to do a quick little thing that I don't usually do, but I want to start kind of doing them and let you know my thoughts on things. It's just a quick little review of something that I bought that I'm actually really impressed with, and I just wanted to kind of like go through it with you guys and tell you my thoughts. So today we're just going to be reviewing this bad boy. Now, for those of you that have no idea what this is, it is the Gears of War 4 Collector's Elite Controller. Now, first off with this thing, I was so stoked. I'm a massive Gears of War fan. Anyone that knows me well knows that I'm like, since day dot, Gears of War is what got me into Xbox. I was always a PlayStation person before Xbox 360. I owned a normal Xbox and a PS2, but I played the PS2 a little bit more. But when I got a next gen console, it was a long time ago. When I decided to upgrade from the Xbox and the PS2 to the PS3 and the Xbox 360, the first console I bought was the Xbox 360, and the first game that I got with the Xbox was Gears of War, and I played the hell out of that game. Lots of times spent playing co-op with that game, multiplayer, and obviously playing 2-3. I played Judgment. I hated Judgment, but the fourth one that came out, I was so pumped for, and rightly so, because it's reinvigorated my love for the franchise, and I'm just so happy. I went out and grabbed this controller. I got the limited edition Xbox One S, and I was just so happy. So to start off with, obviously, guys, just looking at the controller itself, it is beautiful. Now, of course, I got a normal Xbox One S controller with my console, and just looking at the comparison between the two of them, it's amazing. This one is a lot darker than the Xbox itself and even the controller. I would have really preferred that they went for this kind of color on the Xbox. I think it would have looked way better than the color they went with. But having said that, I'm still glad that I have like a difference in the controllers and stuff. But I mean, this is a really nice controller, guys. Just looking at the artwork, you've got like the cog symbol down in the corner there. I don't know how well you guys can see that, just faintly in black. We've got these kind of like laser sketched claw marks, which are really cool. And then just kind of like blood splatter in near the home button there and everything. And of course the cog symbol on the back. Now, one thing I will say about these Elite controllers is that the weight of them, they're a lot heavier than an Xbox controller. I'd probably say double an Xbox One controller. Holding this with like a PlayStation 4 controller is so weird. So weird. PlayStation 4 controller is lightless compared to this. Some people don't like it. Some people don't like the fact that it's heavy. I like that it's heavy. The main reason I like that it's heavy is I know I can feel my money's worth. I know it sounds really stupid, but when I hold it in my hands, it feels sturdy, it feels durable, it feels like it's going to go the extra yards, and I really like that about this controller. I think it's probably the most comfortable controller I've ever owned in terms of sitting and playing for hours and hours and hours. Now, for those of you not familiar with the Elite controllers, the main differences between them is obviously that they're a bit heavier. They're a lot more heavy duty built, but the main thing that you can do with them is the toggles and the DPad and stuff like that. You can actually, they just magnetize, and you can just pop them off just like that, and they've got switchable toggles, which I thought was really cool. They have these extended ones, which I actually play a lot of FIFA with these ones. It's weird. Obviously it kind of sticks out on your controller. And it's kind of interesting to play with, but for me it just gives me more reach. It feels like a lot more comfortable when you're using the ball. You feel like you're in more control. I'd say it's probably the same for shooters. I haven't really tried them out, but really cool for FIFA. I definitely recommend them for FIFA. Like I said, I find them, it just gives me more control, and they just feel better. And then we've got these kind of old school kind of button controller, these old school kind of button analog sticks as well, and I haven't really, to be honest, I haven't really used those a lot. They are also a little bit higher than your normal ones. They just kind of feel weird. I don't feel like I have a lot of grip on them. I don't know exactly what you'd use for them. They seem like maybe like an arcade game, I'd say, maybe like a Mortal Kombat or something like that. I might actually try them out when I get the new Tekken. because that kind of looks like, now that I'm actually just like playing it around, it gives you that arcade feel. That's probably the best way to explain it. Now, one little feature I really love about the Xbox, that Xbox have done with this controller is obviously the D-pad is interchangeable there, and underneath, just where the magnetized bit is, I don't know if you guys can read that, if it'll focus. It says Grub Killer. Now it's just a cool little touch. I know it's like pointless, but that for me is like a cool little thing that Microsoft's done there, that they didn't really have to do. And of course, the D-pad that comes with the Gears of War one comes with the preset weaponry on there. So if you're a fan of Gears of War, you probably know what the preset weapons are. But if you forget, they're just sitting on your controller. You don't have to press the buttons. So it makes it a lot easier for your just usual day-to-day combat. Now, the one thing also that's different with these ones is they have what they call like paddles on the back here. So what those are is they're actually buttons that you can like preset. So if you're playing COD or something and you want that to be throw grenade, you can actually preset it to it being underneath the controller. So really cool feature. It just saves you moving your fingers around a lot around the controller. Obviously you're already holding it there, you may as well have those paddles there. I haven't honestly used that feature a lot. My main reason I haven't used it is not because I don't think that it's a good feature. It's more the fact that when you press the controller down, if you put it down on a table or something like that, these paddles, unfortunately, because of the way that they kind of overlap over the controller, they do hit down. And so if you're on the menu or something, you do get a lot of interference. You know, they'll start going crazy thinking you're trying to select things. So it's for me, it's not really something that Microsoft needed to add in. I understand the merits of it. I think it's a cool little idea, but in terms of practicality wise, for someone that uses a controller every day, I found them just to be really annoying to have to use, and for that reason I just don't keep them on the controller itself, because I use my controller every day, and if I want to sit it down and go get something to eat, or I don't know, go to the toilet or something, it just makes my controller go absolutely insane. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that idea. I think with a bit more kind of preparation towards what they were trying to do, they could make something a little bit better that wouldn't be as problematic as they have been. But I mean, that's my only real downside with this controller, guys. Like, again, I've just forgotten about the fact that it has like this this gripping on the bottom. It feels just so nice in your hand. And of course, comes with this awesome little carry case, which every Elite controller comes with. Obviously, this one comes with one with the little Lancer on the front of it because Gears of War. So you're able to carry all your little bits in there. It's got like a little plush thing that you can obviously just chuck your controller in there. So if you ever want to take this to a friend's place or something, it's not going to get damaged. You don't just have to throw it in your bag. You've got a little carry case there. You've got a little slot there, which I don't know what you put in there. Maybe some extra battery packs or something. Some batteries for your controller, depending on what you used it for. But all in all, I'm really impressed by the Elite controller. It is by far the most comfortable controller I've ever used. For someone like me who plays a lot of FIFA, it's an awesome controller for FIFA. I think it just allows you to feel a lot more in control than using just a regular Xbox controller, especially a lot better than these things. If anyone wants to have a discussion with me about PlayStation controllers being better than Xbox controllers, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Nothing annoys me more than a PlayStation controller. I'm not a fan. I never really have been, even from the first ones that came out. I'm much more a fan of the Xbox controllers. I just think that they are the best controller on the market at the moment, and the Elite just does a 10 times better job than a normal one does. So that's it from me today, guys. Like I said, I just wanted to do something a little bit different for you guys. I know I don't do reviews and stuff a lot, but let me know down in the comments, guys, if you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, let me know. I love a bit of constructive feedback. I just kind of wanted to do something a little bit different, just share my thoughts on the controller itself. If you're someone that games every day and you do own an Xbox and you're thinking about buying an Elite controller, I'd say do it. I'd say probably, obviously this one, I'm not sure if you can still buy the Gears of War one. It did retail at, I think, $250, so a little bit more on the high end, because obviously you are paying for the branding of it and all that kind of stuff. They've got to pay for the licenses for it. But I think the normal Elite controllers go for around 200 RRP. You can get them obviously on sale when EB Games and places like that do their 20% off sales and stuff. So I'd recommend, if you're thinking about getting into one, definitely take the plunge. At the end of the day, if you don't like it, it's only $80 more than a normal controller, and I can't see why anyone wouldn't like the controller. Unless you don't like it, unless you like lighter controllers, and then I wouldn't recommend getting it. But I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10. Like I said, it's probably the best controller that I own. It's so comfortable to use in your hand, and if you're gaming every day like I do, it's definitely one to look out for. And that is it from me today, guys. Like always, if you're new here, make sure to smash that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.